Well, hello everybody. Welcome to this English lesson. As soon as I have confirmed that everything is working properly and removed the crumbs from my desk because I just ate a muffin, we will get started. It's good to see some familiar faces in the chat. I think my microphone needs to be moved a little closer. There we go. I think we're doing well. Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson about common verbs. The other day I heard a verb and it was the verb to admit. When you admit something, you say that you did it. Like if someone said, "Who ate the last cookie?" That's always my example. I might admit that I'm the one who ate the last cookie. So I did some brainstorming and I thought of about 22 other common verbs. And then I searched my previous lessons to make sure I haven't taught these before. And I think there's only one or two that I've taught before. Some will be familiar to you and some will be new. So welcome to this English lesson about common verbs. Hey, it's good to see all of you. Let me just get some things set up here. Looks like my chat is working well. Let me say hi to everyone in the chat. There we go. Good to see John Wedge, Freddie Wolf, Remix, Mr. Fishieri, who is also Hafiez. Mode Eggs is here. Burgett. Let me scroll back. Aerosmith77, who is also Judith. Key Park, Freddie Wolf, Unabi. Let me go back a little bit more. Know That is here as well. Good to see you, Know That. Let's see here. John. You guys were chatting a lot. A lot of the names are the same. That's great to see. I guess when I am slightly late. Hi, Vitor. Good to see you as well. When I am slightly late, you guys have a chance to talk. Let me pin the question form to the top of the chat. Let me do that for a sec. And then we will go over some things and get started. Number one, you're here to learn English. By the way, you can watch this lesson again later today or tomorrow to help practice your English. There's a fly there. Number two, please use the chat to have fun English conversations with each other. It is a great opportunity for you to practice your English. So talk about the lesson, talk about your lives, talk about whatever you want to. Oh, let me do a check here. I just got a little error on the screen. No, everything seems to be fine. And then lastly, if you have a question, please use the form link that is in the chat. If you ask a question in the chat, someone else might answer it, but I will not see it. I don't regularly look at the chat to see the questions that are there. But yes, let's get started. I do have to say one more thing. This might be about a 45-minute lesson because I am supposed to get to work a little earlier than normal today. So we'll see how this goes. Let me see if I've done everything I'm supposed to do. I am recording the lesson. Yes, I have put the link in the description. Yes, so you can ask. There's a link in the description to ask questions. I have said hi to a lot of people. Hi, Ismail. Good to see you as well. And Official Joe. A few more people popping into the chat. 175 people watching. We better start the lesson. Here we go. To attempt. When you attempt something, it means you try it. To try to do something. I tried to find a photo of somebody who was attempting something. I think this is a kayak. I think this person might be new at it. This might be his first attempt. He might be attempting to learn how to kayak. And I don't think you're supposed to be in the water when you are learning to do this. Actually, when you're learning to do it, you probably do fall in the water. So I used a couple of different phrases there. He is attempting to do it. This might be his first attempt. And again, when you attempt something, it means you are simply trying it. I'm having that weird situation this morning where the more I say a word, the stranger it actually sounds to me. But yes, to attempt means to try something. You might be attempting to understand a YouTube video without the subtitles on. That would be another good use of the word. To attempt, to try to do something. To order. Now, this one I think is very familiar to everyone. In fact, I'm not sure if you have Black Friday in the country where you live. It started in the United States, and it is a day where there are a lot of sales and you can get things usually at a discount. In order to do that, you need to order that thing. You need to ask for something to be made, delivered, or brought to you. So when you are in a restaurant and you are sitting down, you can order your food. Well, if you're standing at the counter, you can order your food as well. If you are online and you need to buy something, you can go to a website and you can put it in your shopping cart, and then you can order it, and then they will bring it to you the next day. So to order, to ask for something to be made, delivered, or brought to you, to order. Order now. By the way, just in the last week, I've gotten a lot of emails from places saying they're having a Black Friday sale and telling me I should order something from them. To deliver. Well, this happens after you order something. It means to bring something to someone or to a place. So after I order something, they will then deliver that to me. So if I order something online, the next day or the day after, they will deliver it. A van will arrive or a car, and the person will bring it to my front door. And then now they take a picture of the item sitting against my front door, and then I will get a little email saying that it has been delivered. So let's say I need to order a new pair of reading glasses. I could order them online. And then the next day or the day after, someone would bring them to my house. They would deliver them. To describe, to explain what something or someone is like. So let's say someone stole my package. Let's say there was a package leaning against my front door. I ordered it, it was delivered, and then someone took it, but I saw them take it. I would then describe to the police what they looked like. I would describe to the police what their car looked like. So it's to explain what something or someone is like or what they look like. So I would probably say they had on a baseball cap, they were wearing a gray sweatshirt and jeans, and they were driving a small red Toyota. That's how I would, in my imagination, describe it. So when you describe something, you are explaining what you've seen. This is a great thing to do when you're learning English as well. If you've learned the English word for dog, you should learn how to describe a dog as well. And when you don't know a word, when you're speaking English, it's good to be able to describe it to someone. Like if you said, the package came in like not a car, but like a bigger vehicle, and it was white with no windows. And then the other person might say, a van, because you were able to describe it. They can then tell you what the word is. To decide, to make a choice after thinking about the options. So it's not the easiest. One type of decision is a yes or no decision. Should I go to the shopping mall tonight? Yes or no? Should I make food at home tonight, or should I bring home a pizza? Yes or no? So when you decide, there are 2 options or 3 or more options, and you need to choose one. You need to make a choice. You need to decide. So today there are a few things I need to decide. This morning already decided to eat breakfast. Last week when I did the live lesson, I didn't have breakfast, and I felt like I needed more blood sugar in order to do a lesson well. So this morning I ate a muffin and I ate a banana. So I decided to have breakfast. I need to decide if I'm going to make a lunch and take that lunch to work. I'll have to decide that as well today. But when you decide, you make a choice after thinking about the options. To recommend, to suggest something you think is good. So you watch my English lessons, and I appreciate it. If I could, though, I also recommend that you watch the English lessons that Brent makes. Brent is American English Brent in the chat right now. He also has an English channel where he teaches English, and I highly recommend his channel. I would give it 2 thumbs up or 5 stars, 5 out of 5. So when you recommend, you suggest something you think is good. What movie did I recently watch? The Life of Chuck. It's a little bit of a strange movie, but I would recommend that movie. It was very interesting to me. If you like science fiction, if you like fantasy movies, I would recommend that movie. I also recommend pizza and poutine as awesome things to eat if you are hungry. So to recommend, to suggest something you think is good. Many of you recommend my channel to other people who are learning English, and I thank you for that, and I appreciate it. We would call that a recommendation. So thank you for the recommendation. To improve, to get better. So there's a couple ways to look at this. You can improve your eating by eating more vegetables and fruit and healthier food. You can improve how you look by getting a haircut and maybe working out so that you just look pleasing to other people, or you feel confident because of how you look. You can improve, let's say you're going to sell your car. You can improve how your car looks by painting it and removing some rust and making it look better. So to improve means to get better or to make something better. I can improve these lessons by adding a definition. In the past, when I taught a word, it didn't have the little definition, but I decided to improve my lessons. I decided to make them better by adding the little definition there so that when I teach the word, you can also see what the definition or meaning of the word is. To improve, to get better, or to make something better. Hey, let's look at some questions. I think I'm moving along at the right pace here. Good to see you, Brent, there in the chat. Let me scroll back here. Mode says, hey, no need to worry. I'm a tough cookie, but thanks for your concern. I think I just need to get off the internet for some time. Oh, yes, but I don't want to abandon Bob. That is a wise thing to do. I'm not sure what the whole conversation is, but I was realizing myself that as the weather gets colder and I'm inside more, I feel like I'm online a bit too much. So I might do a little less of that as well. More walking outside, less scrolling on my screen endlessly. Okay, sorry to jump into what might have been a private conversation there. Let me get to the first question from Know That. Hello, Bob. This is a bit off topic, but can the words odd, weird, and strange be used interchangeably, or do they express different nuances? Thanks, Bob. So let's say I'm trying some kind of new food. I could say this tastes odd, this tastes weird, or this tastes strange. They do all have slightly different meanings, but the main meaning is that I don't like how it tastes. Okay. How do you like my new haircut? It looks a little odd. It looks a little weird. It looks a little strange. They all simply mean not normal. Okay. Can I use all of them? I can't think of unique uses for any of them. That dog looks weird. That dog looks odd. That dog looks strange. Yeah, I think it's just preference when you choose them. Fami. Hi, Bob. Was it a chocolate muffin or a blueberry muffin? It was an oatmeal chocolate chip muffin. Notice I had to change from A to an because oatmeal starts with a vowel. So I said it was an oatmeal muffin. So I made a little correction as I was speaking there. Yeah, it was an oatmeal chocolate chip muffin. Very, very yummy. From Mohim. Hello, sir. I am a high school dropout, currently an English learner. As I consider you as teacher and learn a lot from you, so please, sir, give me some advice for my life. Well, first of all, I'm not sure where you live, but if having a high school diploma is important for getting a job, it's not too late to still get that. Adults can get a high school equivalency diploma in Canada. I'm sure it's the same in other countries, and it might mean that you need to go to night school or do some online courses. So if having a high school diploma will help you get a better job, I would look at how to get that. It might take you a couple of years. And again, you might need to do some night classes or something like that. But that's the first thing. The other advice I would give you for your life, certainly continue to pursue learning English, especially if that has value for you. If you want to work in the touristy area of your country or city where there are English speakers, or if you can get a better job, I would say stick with that. Very, very good to do. From Judith, Which common verb has the most synonyms and which have a rhyme with each other? Thank you. That's a tricky one. A lot of them end in ER. So prefer, deliver, order. I'm over pronouncing to make them rhyme perfectly. But yeah, those would be the ones. If you were going to write a poem, to discover, to prefer, to deliver, to order, those would be the ones I would go with. In terms of synonyms, many of these, like to attempt is to try, to order and to command, no, not really synonyms. To deliver, to bring, like I'm going to bring this pizza to my brother. I'm going to deliver this pizza to my brother. I'm going to take this pizza to my brother. And I'm going to get in trouble again because in my area, we can use bring and take interchangeably sometimes. I got in trouble in my my joke lesson for that. From Judith, which common verb has the least meaning? If you mean which one is used the least, I would say like to attempt is less used than to try when we look at synonyms again, if that's what you meant. And then to decide, we sometimes just say to choose. That would be the two I would say. From Elena, hello, thank you for your brilliant lessons. Could you please explain the phrase, he is a mean man? Are there persons in your circumstance about whom you can say so? Yes, I do know some people who are mean. When someone is mean, they do not treat other people well. They are often angry. They are often someone who will say mean things or do mean things to people. So unpleasant. But yes, you could say he's a mean man. He's an angry man. He is not a nice person. Those would all be equivalents to that. From Unabi. Hi, Mr. Bob. In which cases we use the verb to reckon instead of to think? And what is the difference between them? Thank you. Well, I reckon you only use that if you're from somewhere in the southern US. I don't actually know. I sometimes use it to sound funny. It's not a common verb, but you do hear it on TV or in TV shows or in movies every once in a while. But yeah, sometimes people say, like, I reckon it's about 4 kilometers from here. And what they mean is, I think it's about 4 kilometers from here. So do I ever say it? Yes. When I say it, I'm just trying to sound funny or old-fashioned or like I'm from the countryside or something like that. Let's see here. From Gabrielle. Hello, Bob. I've been following your channel, little fix there, for a few months. I'm Brazilian and arrive in 1 week in the US. You are helping me a lot. Thanks so much. You are very, very welcome. I enjoy doing this and I am happy that it is helpful to other people for sure. We'll just keep doing this. I'll keep making lessons. You guys keep watching them. Let's see. Hi, Bob. I've asked you once about saying a teacher of the English language and an English teacher. So how can I refer to a teacher from England? Sometimes we have to specify this. We have to actually say he's an English teacher from England. Like we literally need to say the whole phrase as you've said it. Like if you say Bob is an English teacher from Canada, you know that I'm from Canada. But you can also say he's a Canadian English teacher because the description works. But you can't say he's an English teacher. Well, you can say that, but it sounds a little bit strange. So I would actually say exactly what you said. She is an English teacher from England. He is an English teacher from England. From Remix 5, and then we'll get back to the lesson. Are verbs in British English more difficult or easier to learn? I don't think there's any difference in learning British English, Canadian English, Australian English, French, Italian. I think it's probably all of those languages have the same level of difficulty if you already speak English or another European language. I think when you're an English speaker trying to learn Japanese, that's very hard. If you're Japanese trying to learn English, there's another level of difficulty there because you're needing to make sounds that you might not make in your native language. That can make it really tricky. Oh, this person's using the verb to improve. How can I improve my English language? Well, that's really straightforward. I was going to say easy, but it's straightforward. You need to watch a lot of YouTube videos, watch a lot of TV, listen to a lot of music. You need to do a lot of reading. You need to find a speaking partner as soon as possible. And you need to practice your writing, in my opinion, in a way where someone is giving you corrections, right? Where they're helping you learn to write better. Okay, one more popped up. We're going to do this one from Freddie. Bonjour, Freddie. Bob, about mortgage, what is the verb we need to use before this word? To have, to take, to pay. Merci beaucoup par avance pour tes aides précieuses. Précieuses. That's a great word. So you take out a mortgage, or you take out a loan, or simply get a mortgage or get a loan. So if you want to buy a house in North America, you need to borrow money. You need to go to the bank and borrow money. We call that a mortgage. So we often say, I need to apply for a mortgage. I need to take out a mortgage. I need to get a mortgage. Those would be the verbs I would use to talk about that. So when Jen and I wanted to buy the farm many years ago, we went to the bank to take out a mortgage, and then we were able to buy the farm from my mom. That's how that went. To include, to have something as part of a group of things or people. I had a little trouble writing this definition, but when you include something, it's part of something. So if you look at the picture, I tried to find a picture of a piece of furniture that included the tools to put it together. Sometimes when you buy a piece of furniture, you need to put it together. You need to assemble the furniture. And it's nice if they include the tools that you need to put it together. If you buy a couch from IKEA, a popular furniture store, I was going to say restaurant. IKEA does have restaurants, but IKEA is a furniture store. And quite often when you buy furniture from them, you have to put it together. It comes in a box. You need to assemble it. And often they will include the tool. I like to include everyone in my English lessons. Everyone is welcome to watch this English lesson. I want to include everyone. I want everyone to be part of this. So to include, to have something as part of a group of things or people. To prepare, to get something ready. Right now, it is just snowing a little bit. It has gotten cold here, and we need to prepare for driving in the winter. We need to get ready for driving in the winter. And I've mentioned this before. Those of you who live in countries where you need to drive in the winter, it's always a good idea to prepare for driving in the winter by putting some things in your car. We often will in the winter have a blanket in the car. We might have jumper cables. We might have a shovel. We definitely have an ice scraper. And then on the far side, it says full tank of gas. We tend to keep our cars full in the winter. Like if it's at half, I will fill the car up if I know that bad weather is coming. You don't want to be stuck driving in a snowstorm and all of a sudden be in a traffic jam or go in the ditch and have like hardly any gas, because when your car is running, it keeps you warm. So we don't keep water or snacks. Our cars have built-in phone chargers now, so that's a little bit different. But we definitely have jumper cables or booster cables, we call them, a blanket, and we usually keep the car somewhat full with gas because we want to be prepared. So we prepare by putting those things in the car. To prepare, to remove, to take something away. When I bought my phone, it had this little plastic protector like that it comes with, and you can peel it off. You can remove it, and it's very satisfying. You can see here when you buy a new TV, it also has a plastic film on the screen. They put that on in the factory, and then when you get it to your house, you get to remove it. So to take something away, to remove it. Sometimes at school, students will be drinking pop while they're using a school computer, and then I will remove it from their desk and put it at the front of the room. because I don't want them to spill. So I will take something away temporarily. To remove, to take something away. To arrange, to organize or plan. At some point, this bookshelf was empty. And then this person decided to arrange all of the books and other things on this shelf to look pleasing. Okay, so when you arrange things, you put them in an organized order so it looks nice and so it's convenient. When you put food in the cupboards, you arrange it in a certain way. Maybe all the cans on one side, all the boxes on another. You arrange them, you organize them in a certain way. We can also use this to talk about planning an event. You can arrange a birthday party for someone. That means you order a cake or you bake a cake and you get some decorations and you do all those fun things. So you can arrange things or you can arrange an event, which means to make it happen. To remind. So I think before phones, when I was a kid, I never actually did this, but people sometimes would tie a string around their finger to remind them of something, to help someone remember. That's what it means to remind. Sometimes when I leave for work, Jen will remind me that I need to get some milk on the way home. Sometimes when Jen is going to market in the summer, I will remind her that she needs to go early that week for whatever reason. So you can remind yourself, but you can also remind other people. So I think even when I schedule these live streams, you can click a button so that YouTube will remind you when the English lesson will start. So to remind, to help someone remember. To avoid, to stay away from something or to move away from something. You can see this child is biking and the person is opening the door of the car. So the kid is going to avoid the car. They're going to turn and swerve away. So they're going to stay away from the car. So when you avoid something, it means you stay away from it. We also use this sometimes to talk about people. Let's say you're at the mall and you see someone you don't want to talk to. You might avoid them. You might walk in a different direction and hope they don't see you. Obviously, I've never done this, but sometimes you just don't feel like talking to certain people, so you might avoid them. So you might stay away from them. But usually we use it to talk about things like this. If I'm driving and there is, let's say, a deer runs onto the road. This happens in my part of Canada sometimes. I will swerve to avoid the deer, to stay away from the deer. To promise, to say you will definitely do something. So if I tell you I am going to do something, that is a promise. Sometimes a promise, if it's formal, will be sealed with a handshake. If I say I'm going to buy your car, I'm promising to buy your car, and we might shake hands. If I say that to my mom, I will visit you Friday night, I promise. It means that I'm saying I will definitely do that thing. So to promise, to say you will definitely do something. To suggest, to give someone an idea. So when people ask me, what's the best thing I can do to learn English? I will give suggestions. I will suggest that they do a lot of reading and listening. I will suggest that they find an English speaking partner. I will suggest that they practice their writing. And I will suggest that they, did I miss one? Reading, writing, listening, speaking. I will suggest all four of those things. In a restaurant, it looks like the person sitting down isn't sure if they want a hamburger or pizza. So the server is suggesting that they have a hamburger. Maybe the hamburger is cheaper that night. Maybe it is the special. Maybe the hamburger is just really good. And the server is basically saying, do you want to try the hamburger? So when you suggest, you give someone an idea. To discover, to find something new. Probably the best example would be to look at history. Hundreds of years ago, people would sail in boats across the ocean and they would discover new places. They might discover an island. They might discover North America. They might discover a place where they've never been before. So there was a time where people were sailing. I think they might have called it the age of discovery. I might be making that up, but you can discover things. If we went to the moon and we found there were aliens there, we would have discovered an alien civilization. By the way, I'm not sure there are aliens. I think we might be alone in the universe as human beings, but to discover, to find something new. Hey, let's go to members only chat mode for just a bit. And let me find out where that button is. I'm pretty familiar with the new interface now, but it does still take me some time to find that spot. I wish there was just a big button. Okay. Members only chat mode has been engaged. If you are a member of the channel, you can ask questions directly in the chat right now. And I do thank you very much for being members. You guys are awesome. I am going to still answer questions from the forum. So let me get one of those on the screen while we wait for members to ask some questions. From Unso, hello, Mr. Bob. Are there any common verbs that the new generation uses in fun or unexpected ways? Thanks a lot for your hard work. You're awesome. Bye. None that come to mind. I'm sure there are many. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I should do a lesson at some point in time where I do some new slang or some new verbs. Maybe someone in the chat knows one, and we can have a look at that. From Unabi, another pair of verbs which seems pretty similar to me is to drag and more common to pull. Is there any difference between them? Oh, that's interesting. So first of all, to drag implies that there are no wheels involved. So if you have a big branch on the ground, you can drag that branch to the edge of your yard and throw it over the fence. I could do that, okay? When you pull something, it might have wheels, but I would not hook a trailer up to my car and then use the verb to drag. I would pull the trailer with my car. If the wheels fell off the trailer, then I would be dragging the trailer. So to me, that is the difference. To pull is a more general term. Like I can put a bunch of leaves on a blanket and then pull the blanket across the lawn or drag the blanket across the lawn. But if I have a wagon behind my tractor, I will pull the wagon. If I use a wheelbarrow backwards, I will pull the wheelbarrow. So if it has wheels, I would definitely use to pull. If it doesn't, I would use to drag. That's a great question for sure. From the chat, No That says, hey Bob, personal question. And again, just out of curiosity, what are your students currently working on in class? Have they already started preparing for the exams, or do they usually wait until January? Thanks, Bob. Right now, we are doing animation, which is one of my favorite units because they create little animations about winter. So they're creating a whole bunch of animations of people building a snowman, a snowstorm, a candle flickering. It's not quite December yet, but that's what they are working on. It's one of my favorite units because it's just fun and they enjoy it and I enjoy it as well. John Wedge says, no question, Bob, just listen to you and have a very good chat with friends. Hey folks, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Thank you. Bridget, hello, Bob. How's the progress of your vocabulary app? It's still there. I haven't updated it at all. I really should get on that. I think those of you that have been around a long time know that I often bite off more than I can chew. And then some people even mentioned that they weren't sure I'd be able to keep that up. So we'll see. So currently I might do a bit of work on it during the Christmas break. Brent says 6-7 isn't a verb, but it's very popular here with the younger people. Yes. And I think it might kind of be fading. I haven't actually heard it for a week or two, and it's kind of hard to explain. It's almost like a meaningless meme phrase, if you know what I mean. Mode says, oh yeah, I've heard that. What does it mean? People say it has no real meaning. Yeah, it's more if you accidentally say it or if you say it on purpose, whether it applies to what you're talking about or not, people will laugh. Okay. Like if I said, if I unintentionally said this live stream is going to go about 6-7 more minutes, my students would be like, 6-7. That's literally how they would react. Did you see that? They'd be like, oh, you said 6-7, 6-7. So does it mean anything? I think it's just, it's like a phrase where if you hear it, it makes people laugh, or if people say it on purpose or by accident. Is that, ask Brent in the chat. It's kind of a challenging thing to explain, but that is literally how high school students react. Let's see here. From Freddie, yes, we could be alone in the universe as human beings. Nevertheless, perhaps some alien beings could be somewhere. Who knows? Yes, it's undetermined. Let's see. No, that says, what are you up to today or this weekend, Bob? Do you have anything planned, or will it be a more relaxed weekend? Thanks in advance. Two things. I have a PD day today, but I have to go to school for training. We're learning about, well, it's kind of hard to explain. I have a professional development day, and then we'll be, I think, delivering Christmas wreaths tomorrow for Jen. Hafia says, I'm just chilling today. Just want to say I love that yellow cup you're drinking out of, Bob. It's just simple and big. Yes, and it's not mine. It belongs to one of my kids, but they're at university now, so I'm using their cup. Let's see here. Key Park says, hi, Bob. Good morning. Heard there will be a strong storm in Ontario in a few days. Have you prepared for that? What did you do for preparing? So Jen and I have charged everything. And we made sure we have gas for the generator. It's supposed to be extremely windy. So we've charged our flashlights. We're keeping our phones charged. The biggest thing would be if the power goes out. From Know That, Bob, what does the phrase to have one's share of something mean? And could you give some examples of its usage? A heartfelt thank you as well. So let's say there is a cake on the table and there are 5 people and the cake is cut into 6 pieces. Everyone has their piece and gets their share, and there would be 1 piece left over. If I said, hey, can I have that piece? Someone might say, no, you had your share. So you've had a fair amount. You've had what would be a good amount. You don't deserve any more. So you could have your share of something. Mr. Fishieri Hafia says, OMG, somebody is going to clip that Bob doing the 6-7 thing. Yeah, probably will. Brent says, Jamie said that 6-7 comes from a song. I had no idea. I'm too old. Yes. John says 6-7 can have several meanings depending on the context, including the slang term for a state of confusion or being at 6s and 7s. Fair enough. I still think it's become a meaningless phrase. That should totally be a thing. Mode says, hi, Mr. Bob. Hi, Mode. Do you think we can use to discover in the exact same way as to figure, find out, or should it only be used for big, important discoveries? So to discover usually means you're the first person to figure something out or to find out. So let's say there was a crime and you discover that it was your brother that did it. The police can't then discover it was your brother. You were the first person to figure it out. Hopefully your brother didn't commit a crime. So I would say that only one person can discover something, and then everyone else just learns about it from that person. That's a fairly basic description. John says 6-7 or 6-7 comes from the song Doot Doot by rapper Skrilla, which has been used frequently in viral videos and memes featuring NBA player LaMelo Ball. Okay. Mode says, Bob suddenly sounded like a mean teenager. Yes. Okay, let me turn off members only chat for a moment here. What's going on? Yes, I need to click. If I could run YouTube, I would change a few things on the interface to make it easier to do what I do. So members only chat is off, and we will get back to the lesson as soon as I have a sip of water. Let me just see here. I'm going to answer a question or two from the forum just to get caught up. Takagaro, hello. I made my attempt to watch Lord of the Rings in English with no subs. It was hard for me, but listening for you is pretty easy. Could you recommend something in between? So I think I would do this. I would read The Hobbit, which is shorter than The Lord of the Rings, and then I would watch the 3 Hobbit movies. It's not that the movies would be easier, but your preparation for The Hobbit would be quicker. The Hobbit is like a novel that's this big, whereas The Lord of the Rings is like 3 thicker novels. So read The Hobbit, learn as much vocabulary as you can, and then watch that movie. And then if you have time, do the same thing with The Lord of the Rings. Jack Tooth says, what is the difference between Brady and Brad? Well, first of all, Brady is both a guy's name and girl's name, and Brad is only used to talk about a guy. It's a guy's name. That's what I would say. Mode says, back to the cake example. If someone ate most of the cake, we would say they had the lion's share. Yes, or more than their share, or more than their fair share. There would be a couple ways to say that, but yes, for sure. Know that. I love the cake example, Bob. I got it. Thank you so much for the explanation. No problem. You could also use it in the negative. Like if someone used the form to ask 10 questions, I could say, hey, I've already answered your share, right? I could use it kind of as, you've asked too many questions. No one's done that, but hi, Sir Bob. You mentioned the word remind, and I want to ask you, is there any difference between remind and remember? So to remember is an action where you think of something, whereas to remind is when it's an action to help you remember. So there's a little bit of a distinction there, okay? Jen can remind me that I have a doctor's appointment, and then I will remember that I have a doctor's appointment, okay? So to remind is the action to help someone remember something, okay? Did you get that? To remind is an action to help someone remember something. So they're related, but they are slightly different in that sense. Okay, I'm going to finish this lesson off. Mode's had his fair share of Black Friday sales. It's like everyone you've ever bought something from emails you today. That's what I would say. Freddie Wolf says, just to say that I'm happy being with you all and at the same time spending a great time. Sinon, c'est possible que tu n'aies pas remarqué les souscriptions offertes. There you go. Back to the cake example. Oh, we did that one already. Okay, we're back on track. Here we go. I need a sip of water first. To prefer, to like one thing more than another. So if you look at these two pictures, you will have a feeling. You will either prefer the strawberry ice cream, or you will prefer the chocolate ice cream, or you may not like ice cream. You might prefer to not eat ice cream. I prefer the chocolate. I like chocolate ice cream more than strawberry ice cream, but I do like ice cream. And if I wanted to eat ice cream and there was only strawberry, I might say, well, I prefer chocolate, but strawberry will do. In English, when you say something will do, it means that it's a good replacement considering the other thing isn't available. So which do you prefer? Maybe you prefer the strawberry. Maybe you prefer the chocolate. Maybe you prefer to not eat ice cream. But it's basically to like one thing more than another. To enjoy. To like doing something. I enjoy doing live streams. I like doing live streams. I have mentioned this in the past that however my channel changes over the next number of years, I can see myself doing live English lessons for a while because I enjoy doing them. I also enjoy doing them because it's free of AI. This is a real person, Bob. This is not AI. A real person with real people learning from a real person. And I just really enjoy that. And I think a lot of you enjoy that too, which is why we have so many people here every Friday. So to enjoy, to like doing something, to admit, to say something is true. In this situation, I think this is a police officer questioning a suspect, hoping that he will admit that he did the crime. Earlier, I talked about someone eating the last cookie, and then I sometimes admit that it was me. So basically, you are confessing or you are saying something is true when you admit something. To request, to ask politely. So I put this picture here because when I was a kid, and I think you could still do this today, you could call a radio station and request a song. You could ask them politely to play a song. I never did this as a kid, but you would often hear them say the request lines are open. And then people would call in and say, can you play Piano Man by Billy Joel? Or can you play, I can't think of another name of a song. Can you play I Want to Be Free by Queen? When you request a song, you ask politely for someone to play it. At a wedding, if there is a DJ who's playing music, the DJ might say, hey, if there's any requests, come and tell me. And you can go and request a song. So to ask for something politely. If I needed to go visit my brother who lives a long ways away, I could request a day off from my boss. I could say, hey, could I have a day off to go visit my brother? At my work, you are allowed to take a day off for something like that, but then I don't get paid for that day. And then I have to pay for the person who replaces me. So if I'm sick, I can request a day off and it's free. But if I need to do something like, I can actually, sorry, that's not totally true. I can take one day for personal reasons a year. So to provide, to give something that is needed. Parents will provide for their children. They will provide food. They will provide a place to live. They will provide clothing. They will basically give things that are needed to their children. At work, they might provide you with work boots, with safety boots. They might provide you with safety goggles and ear protection. They might give that to you because you need that to do the job. To compare, to look at two things and see how they are different or similar. So here we have a lollipop and a tomato. So you can compare them. They're both, one's pink and one's red. So they're somewhat close in color. One has a lot of one has a lot of sugar in it. One has some natural sugar in it. One is a candy, one is a vegetable. One is good for you and one isn't. So when you compare, you look at two things and you talk about how they are different or similar. You look at and see how they are different or similar. If you were to compare me and Brent, the other English teacher, we are somewhat similar looking. We both are about the same age. I'm quite a bit older actually, but we look the same age. We both have somewhat of some facial hair. I don't have like a full beard. I think in a recent picture, Brent had more of a beard, but you can compare us. We actually have very similar teaching styles. We try to speak clearly and accurately so you can understand what we're saying. So you can compare people, you can compare things, you can look at two things and see how they are different or similar. Hey, it's water sipping time. And then I'm going to answer the few questions that I have left. Let me find them. There are 4. First one from Eunice. So doesn't the statement, he's an English teacher, mean that the word English is a nationality adjective, just like saying an English man? That's the tricky part. Like I'm a computer teacher, I'm a business teacher, I'm an English teacher, I'm a French teacher. When you say I'm a French teacher, I'm not from France. So if there was someone teaching French who's from France, you would say he's a French teacher from France if you were in my country, okay? So sometimes we need to use more words to clarify. If you're saying that the person is from England and teaches English, I would say he is an English teacher from England. That's how I would describe that person. Let's see. Javad, how can I improve my sentence building skills? When they tell me to practice, I don't know what to do. And when I think about it, I get confused. You just built some really good sentences there, Javad. Like, how can I improve my sentence building skills? When they tell me to practice, I don't know what to do. And when I think about it, I get confused. My guess is you actually know how to build sentences. You just need a bit more time to think about it. And conversations are probably too quick. So I would say your best bet, practice your sentence building with like a pen pal, like emailing someone back and forth, and then find an English tutor that can help you with your English conversation sentence building skills. Excuse me. Let's see from Ayapan. Hey, Bob, how's it going? I got questions. I got a question. How do you know the formal words meanings in the textbook, they are so different than we use in informal conversation. So it's important that you somehow have conversations that are more natural so that you pick up on slang and phrasing and contractions and reductions, because when you're reading in a book, it's all going to be grammatically correct, syntactically correct, and it's going to be perfect. And then you're going to have a conversation and it won't be. So somehow you have to watch. I always recommend reality TV, but I also highly recommend that you find an English conversation partner that can help you with that. Remix 5, do the verbs promote and recommend mean the same thing for military personnel and for people? Thanks, Bob. So here's the thing. If there's a concert coming up, if I promote the concert, it means I am working for those people to tell people about the concert. If I recommend the concert, I'm just someone who likes that kind of music. When you're talking about military personnel, though, you can be promoted. Like they can promote you from private to corporal. I don't know the actual titles or sergeant. So it means that like at work, they could promote me and say, you're head of the French department. It means I am now a manager. So it has a different meaning in that sense. Yeah, it's a little tricky to answer that completely. I don't know about this one. From Maple, when I see you, I feel like hugging you and giving you a tight squeeze, but not so tight that you get flattened. Which common verb should I use to describe that? Well, first of all, physically embracing someone and giving them a hug should not be done with strangers or coworkers, only family, close friends, people who you know well. So the best example for me would be if a grandma wants to hug her grandchildren. So you would just say, yeah, I just want to give you a hug. Tight squeeze, you could say that too, but it would just be a hug. I just want to give you a hug. That would be it. Again, don't go around hugging people. It's not appropriate to just start randomly hugging people. I think we all know that, but that's my advice of the day. Okay, people, thanks for watching. I need to head off to work. I am going to do a quick goodbye because I do need to get there as soon as possible. I hope you're having a good day. Let me see here. Oh yeah, everything is still working, right? It's like funny. I was hoping like at the end I don't want to also realize stuff was broken. Okay. This lesson will come out in a couple days. I will remove all of the questions. It will be a pure lesson. It will probably be about 22 minutes long, and it's good for a refresher. It's good to help you remember. It's good to remind you of some of the words that you learned. Repetition can be boring, but it's great when you are learning a language. So find the time. It'll come out in 2 days. Just cue it up, listen to it while you're driving to work, doing dishes, folding the laundry, going for a walk or run. Just put it on, let your brain absorb it one more time. And I guarantee you that will be very, very helpful. 22 common verbs, and I will do another follow-up lesson. I do have another set as well, but also try to practice these today at some point. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.